Welcome to my inaugural episode of Headlines in Bed. Today is Tuesday, January 21st, 2021. Um, in many ways, the start of a new era and the start of this project, this personal project for me. Um, let's get started with the New York Times. On first full day, Biden focuses on the pandemic. Centerpiece with a great picture, if not necessarily a majestic one, of the Capitol, of the U.S. Capitol. Who attended President Biden's inauguration? And the photo line asks to take a close look at the masks, faces in the crowd, and they have labels for everyone in the crowd. Of course, this was not the biggest crowd in the history of inaugurations, but I must say the smartest crowd in the history of inaugurations, perhaps. But moving on, with plans to address crises, administration faces present challenges. President Biden is expected to address a national strategy to confront the coronavirus that promises to harness the powers of the federal government. I don't think that means anything. His team said it had identified 12 immediate supply shortfalls in the Trump administration's pandemic plan. Here are the latest on the new administration. I think that's a good subhead. I'd like to know what those 12 immediate supply shortfalls are and what they're going to do to address them. Over on the right-hand side, business updates. New employment claims remain high in the latest weekly report. High rates signal optimism but may hurt the housing market. Higher rates. Higher rates of what? Of interest rate? Higher rates signal optimism but may hurt the housing market. Coronavirus updates. 1 year ago today, America reported its first coronavirus case as well. So not only was yesterday a historic day with the inauguration of the oldest president in our history, but also the first female president and the first person of Southeast Asian descent, and of course the first black woman. And yet today we mark another historic benchmark. A year since the pandemic started to since the pandemic started to create chaos in our nation. It's such a lottery, quote, disappointment and frustration as vaccine efforts melt away. Yeah, I'll be interested to find out more how they're distributing the pandemic. Conceived in another era, the U.S. unemployment system failed, a decline in funding and changes in the workplace, and how long people are out of work have left a program unequal to the 21st century economy. Biden's 17 executive orders and other directives in detail. This I want to read in more detail. The movement aims to strengthen protections for young immigrants, end construction of the border wall, end the travel ban, and prioritize racial equality. Charlottesville inspired Biden to run. He has a message for him. The 2017 white supremacists rally prefigure the rise of right-wing violence. As President Biden calls for unity, residents want accountability first. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Biden handles this tension between unity and accountability. I think they're both equally important for his success and the success of the nation. Ivy Hand found it jarring to see herself and other Charlottesville counter-protesters in President Biden's campaign launch video. Amanda Gorman captures the moment in verse. The youngest inaugural poet in the U.S. history read The Hill We Climb, which she finished after the riot on the on the Capitol. Yeah, if you haven't heard this, it's worth a listen or two. She is, like many, many, many young people. I don't know why um, the news is making such a big deal about her being so young. Um, get over it. Young people are talented. Young people are articulate. Young people are creative. And young Amanda Gorman is just one of many, many, many people in the United States and around the world who have something to say and who need to be given an opportunity to not only say but lead this nation. Um, that was actually such a great contrast between the youngest poet and the oldest president to be inaugurated. Bernie Sanders, speaking of another old person, very smart person, very committed person. Bernie Sanders is once again the start of a meme. The Vermont senator was cold but comfortable, the internet noticed. Yeah. An inauguration defined by the absence, but defiantly normal. At President Biden's made-for-TV training, rituals of normalcy run into reminders that these are anything but normal times. James Ponowitz, Ponywosik writes, "Yep, and the biggest absence shall remain nameless." On this videocast. Let's move over to the opinion page. Democrats, here's how to lose in 2022 and deserve it. You don't get reelected for things voters don't know about. You don't get reelected for things voters don't know about. I get it. So, uh, not only do, but promote what you do. Um, Melinda, oh, and by the way, that was by Ezra Klein. Melinda Wagner Moyer, if you are offered a vaccine, take it, even if you don't, even if you think someone else deserves it more than you. Charles M. Blow, relief but lingering rage. The editorial board, Biden bets on unity. Well, clearly stated, factually agreed, factually accurate, void of anything. Swamps are us, Gail Collins. Kara Schweischer, a black and Asian female VP doesn't mean we've scathed cast. I absolutely agree with that. I'm interested in reading that one. I think we hide behind race when what we also need to be talking about and affecting change is caste in this country. But I'm editorializing myself, so let me not digress. Stephen G. Calabresi and Norman L. Eisen. The problem with Trump's odious pardon of Steve Bannon. I want to read that. Why Joe Biden must not shy away from the full power of the presidency. Eric Posner. Justin Gills. What will happen to your next home if builders get their way? Huh. Jesse Wegman. Biden can heal what Trump broke. Yeah. Let's see. 13,000 school districts, 13,000 approaches to teaching during COVID. Yep. Sounds like the school districts are just as disjointed as the federal government. To assess how public schools have navigated the pandemic, the Times examined 7 representative districts. The answers were strikingly different. Amid one pandemic, students trained for the next. Researchers had banded together to find safe, virtual ways to teach the principles of microbiology and epidemiology. Is mask sleeping the new man's? Is mask sleeping the new man spreading? What? Is mask sleeping the new man spreading? I'm not sure I understand it and I want to read it. Is it about being a bro? Or is it about I'll let you guys look at the numbers Um, well, no. Let's look at the numbers together. In the United States, new cases 184,754, and that's cases of COVID. New deaths 4,367. Those are the figures for yesterday. Um, Three types of Republicans Donald Trump created. Never Trumpers, the unlikeliest group of rhinos, Republicans in inside only, and Trump loyalists are fighting for the future of the party. From commander-in-chief to interloper in Palm Beach, if former President Donald Trump intends to live in South Florida full-time, he is likely to encounter some friction, though his fans are thrilled. Yeah, I want to see how they bend the rules for him to be able to live in Mar-a-Lago as he has stated he intends to do. I want to then understand how local ordinances will apply to me and my neighbors if and when one of us does something that doesn't follow the rules. We're watching. We are watching. Members of the Proud Boys, who were among Donald Trump's staunchest fans, are calling him a total failure. The photo is not loading. My long COVID nightmare, still sick after 6 months. A Times reporter caught the coronavirus in the New York City outbreak last April, but the acute phase of the illness was just the beginning. The importance of mentors right now. Most mentoring programs have moved online, but some wait lists are long, and the rare person-to-person connection is sorely missed. Lizzie Borden notoriously is this home's selling point. The house where her father and stepmother were brutally killed with a hatchet draws thousands of visitors to New York. Now it's on sale. I'm not sure who Lizzie Borden is, so I'll need to look her up. Hours after inauguration, federal agents used tear gas in Portland. Protesters who spent months and the rest in the streets in Portland, Oregon, over racial injustice and inequality said President Biden's promised changes won't save us. A teenager went to play video games. He never came home. Cahill Grier, 16, was fatally shot in a random encounter with the stairwell of his Bronx apartment building, the police said. Jem, another young child of color, loses his life. Jem Psaki's debut, no attacks, no lectures, no crowd-size fixation. Ms. Psaki, the new White House press secretary, held a non-combative briefing designed to project a return to normalcy. Yeah, let's see how that is going to last. There were moments. The outfits that sent a message. It was impossible to ignore how the new administration used what they were to tell a story when the eyes of the world were on them, Vanessa Friedman writes. Yeah. Suicide bombing in Baghdad market kills at least 32. The losses continue. A speed skating coach gets over 10 years in prison for rape. Despite virus surge, IOG pledges Summer Olympics will happen. Cannabis factories found in London, deserted financial district. And I think this section is more about just reposting of what's already been acknowledged. So I'll let you guys take a quick look. Oh, here's an explanation. Let's see. Is mask sleeping the new man spreading? Something about some men just makes it difficult to keep that mask where it should be. Huh. Oh, is mask sleeping the new men spreading? Like the legs, how men spread their legs. Something about some men just makes it difficult to keep that mask where it should be. Huh. Will Biden be the next FDR? Let's stop making comparisons and focus on the man of today. Okay, let's go on to the Washington Post. Biden ushers in sweeping change. The photo is, I think the photo is a mess because you don't see real change in this photo. A look inside President Biden's Oval Office. All incoming presidents changed the decor of the largely symbolic room to offer a sense of their personality and the type of presidency they hope to have. President Biden's is notable for the sheer number of portraits and busts of well-known American historical figures. Okay. Well, I get the point, but the photo doesn't work. Pandemic plan aims to expand access to testing and vaccines, reopen schools. Aspects of the plan are intended to steer more money to states and make travel safe. Adhering, Buttigieg cites generational opportunity on infrastructure. Biden pledges to defeat extremism and culture of lies as he confronts Trump's legacy. Biden administration to pause deportations, curtail arrests. Democrats take control of 50-50 Senate with Vice President Harris presiding for first time. Fauci praises WHO leadership in coronavirus pandemic, signaling break from Trump era. At White House, an impersonal transfer families as Trump exits. As Biden takes office, jobless claims remain at historic heights. Biden signals mask mandate on federal properties, rejoins Paris Climate Accord. After Biden's unity plea, many reminders of America's toxic bipartisans. The opinion page, Lloyd Austin is the black leadership the Defense Department needs. It wasn't just a speech, there were plenty of big moments at Biden's inauguration. Fake GOP rage over Biden's unity speech is a sucker's game. Uniters are seen as wishy-washy and spineless. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Biden's speech was a commitment to a new democracy. On his final day, Trump demeaned the presidency one more time. Biden's inauguration speech, 10 Things You Missed, from Bruce Springsteen's Too Many Fireworks. Not all presidents dance. Not all presidents dance. Skills are created equal. George Washington could really cut a rug. Abraham Lincoln absolutely could not. Not all 45 presidents fit. How all 45 presidents fare on the dance floor. I wonder if Biden did have a first dance. The Bidens. Inauguration. Biden's riots, folks, the historic words in Biden's inauguration speech. I'll let you guys read it. A lockdown capital celebrates Biden's inauguration and Trump's departure, the 46th precedent. Breaking news, FBI should examine Parler's role in Capitol attack, House Democrat says. And that's the Representative Carolyn Maloney, Democrat from New York. Biden fires Labor Board's top lawyer, a Trump appointee who refused to resign. After Michael Flynn's floated idea of martial law, Army falsely denied his brother's key role in military response to Capitol attack. Experts recommend masks and social distancing even after you get the vaccine. Finally, getting the shot, and this is a coronavirus sector. Oh, more top stories, coronavirus. The design is not very clear. Finally, getting the shot felt good. Thinking of those still waiting and is what stings. Why America's infatuated with a guilt feeling, a pretend guilt feeling. All overweight DC residents will get priority for coronavirus vaccine, experts not skeptical. Biden's coronavirus strategy keeps vaccine goals modest. The Morning Mix. Stephen Colbert, Trevor Noah bid adieu to Trump. America's just got a brand new dad. As Biden addresses the world, an unknown man in uniform stood watch over his son Boo's grave. Aww. Obama, Bush, and Clinton released video praising peaceful transfer of power, and Trump skips inauguration. President Bush hasn't changed. His dancing, his shifting on his feet was such a cowboy move during the video. At his swearing-in, John Ossoff used a Hebrew Bible from an MLK ally whose synagogue was bombed by white supremacists. Biden's Cesar Chavez bust in the Oval Office signals a new era for Latinos activists' hope. It shows that he is authentic. Well, let's not equate the placement of an artifact to authenticity and willingness to act on legislation and social causes. But that's great. But the bust of Cesar Chavez is in the Oval Office. Bernie Sanders and his mittens was everywhere on Inauguration Day. Just ask the internet. Oh, they picked up on it too. Don't miss most reads. This is a bit of content marketing. Politics. An incomplete Supreme Court witnessed Biden's oath. 6 of the 9 showed up for the ceremony. Justices Clarence Thomas, Stephen Breyer, and Samuel Eliotto skipped. It was the first time in more than 20 years that not all of the justices witnessed the ceremony. So they also exercise that. The world, rare twin suicide bombings rock Baghdad market, killing at least 28. China fires, parting sanctions at Trump officials, 6 better angels in Biden's team. In one of his latest acts, Trump administration tried to deport to Haiti a man who has never been there. Alleged Saudi troll campaign targets movie about the murder of Jamal Khashoggi on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. Even in jail, Navalny knows how to enrich Putin. This time it's with a viral video. Proud Boys organizers Joe Biggs arrested as FBI alleges more possible planning in U.S. Capitol breach. Finally, a president America's children can watch. And Trump's administration's last-minute move would make religious affiliated businesses eligible for taxpayers' back-end loan. Wow. The gift giving continues. And I will let you guys and gals read the rest. Travel. What American travelers need to know about getting a COVID-19 test in Mexico. The U.S. is requiring COVID-19 tests for internal entry. Experts say that approach is flawed. Will psychedelic mushroom vacations come to the U.S.? And a man tried to save a United passenger who died of COVID-19. The airline offered him $200. And lastly, quickly, we'll close with the Wall Street Journal. Biden faces early hurdles on nominees' COVID-19 relief. So forget about the inauguration, the pomp and virtual circumstance. The Wall Street Journal is talking about the challenges ahead. And high jobless claims show uneven labor market recovery. Opinion, Joe Biden's unity addresses the Republican future starts now. Joe Biden super sale. That's interesting. They place an ad right under their opinion. Wow. Intel to cap off difficult year ahead of new chief. Hedge funds bets on Fannie and Freddie cause pain. Chinese telecom carriers ask New York Stock Exchange to make another U-turn on the listing. Housing market stays tight as homeowners stay put. Lilly antibody drug prevents COVID-19 in nurses' homes, study finds. The design, this is the least effective design. The typeface is difficult to read, and it feels a little too cramped in deference to ads. Michelle Evans oversaw Lockheed Martin biggest project. Wow, an obituary. Business and finance. Fed up executives plot a faster COVID vaccine rollout. LG rethinks its smartest unit future as Chinese rivals powers ahead. I have to say, the mix of headlines is much more diverse. It's not so focused on politics here on the homepage, but it's not as easy to read. The design is not as easy to flow. Recommended videos, most popular, Trump, Ivanka, and Jared Kushner lease Miami condo following $32 million deal on Indian Creek. What to expect on Trump's final day in office? What to expect? Well, it already happened. What's happening, Wall Street Journal? Oh, it's content marketing. This may very well be all content. Interesting. Only towards the bottom of the page do they have focus on the. Yeah, either they have their editorial focus is not on politics, or they have a slight bias against a Democratic president. We'll find out as we continue our video cast in the future. All right. Well, there you have it. Those were the headlines in bed. That was headlines in bed for Thursday. I think I said earlier Tuesday. No, today is Thursday, January 21st, 2021. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.